All right. This is a little test to show how to do some automation in Cubase with Kontakt. Now, this has been covered a billion times before, a lot of people, but I noticed with Kinetic Metal, which if you don't have it already, it's really a great sound design library that you can get from Native Instruments. It's done by a sound designer named Jeremiah Savage, who basically field recorded a bunch of metallic objects. If you go into the library, you kind of get an idea of what the documentation covers it a little bit more in depth, but things like clocks and barrels and typewriters and rotary phones and chimes, dry ice, all kinds of things. And that's usually what's populated in each of these metal. Um, this is basically a volume for each of these slots for various things that he recorded. Over here, waves are kind of like, it's still a sampler. It's not like, Kontakt isn't a hybrid instrument. But these wave slots are samples that have kind of like waveforms that you can assign to a sound. So each of these, if you see each of these presets in the Forge, it switches these along with the master volume. So you can get different variations. So if I play, this is the basic one that you get, and then if you go to B, so completely different. So there's some samples in there, but you also have this wave right here, which is up, and you can get more pitches. And there's like a tail end to that sound. Then C, so you can hear some other kind of squeaky sounds in the back. Everything else is silent, well, except for this metal right here, and then you have a big wave right here, which adds some pitch. And then D, more percussive, which is that last slot for the metal, and then some other waves. Now the modulation wheel is built in. It controls the FX section. So you have different presets. So really nothing on the first one, second one. There's some distortion. Third one, some delay. That distortion's up quite a bit. And then you can interpolate between them. So you can see that they're morphing. That's the power of Kinetic Metal. Now, automating this thing is a little weird. Normally, you think, oh, in Cubase I would just hit this write automation. Let's actually record something really quick here. Okay, so now we have something to work with here. That's not going to work. Go into the editor here. By the way, I'm working with Cubase 9. Awesome. These windows really, really help. According to a lot of people, this is quite overdue because a lot of other DAWs have have had this for a very, very long time. Now that I've cut that, I can cut this here, get rid of this, and just trim this back, and we can do this now. All right. In fact, let's make this a little bit more arpeggiated. Let's do this. There. That's better. Actually, let's make that a little bit more. That's better. Now, let's try this out. Let's try automating this, because automating the forge can really do some great things. So, for example, see now all of those things are get these nice textures. It's really nice, those atmospheric little hits in the back. So notice if you go into automation, you have all this stuff pre-mapped out, which is really awesome. Okay, this really, really helps out because then you can assign Cubase. If you wanted to use quick controls, there's nothing in here. You'd have to go in. So for example, if you wanted to learn something, notice that's not doing anything. So that can be a little frustrating, but you can always go in here and go to Kontakt and hit this and like go into this and then assign a control to that if you want. But I'm going to do this with the mouse. But normally you'd think, oh well, if it's already mapped out, then all I have to do is hit right and play this along and see if I can write some automation. Nothing's happening. There's no writing. There's no writing. If I come over here to effects, yeah, there's no writing. Now if I were to use my modulation wheel, then it would record it as MIDI data. So what's the deal here? So if I play this back, you'll notice there's nothing. There's no automation. The way I found a way around this is, even if I went in here and, I'd have to, I could assign it and then draw it in, but, I want to do it, write it in myself. What I found is that you have to kind of go in here and remove these and then assign them again. It's really weird. I don't know if that's just something, hopefully this is going to work. If that's just something that is a glitch or it's part of the working of Kontakt. But anyway, let's try this again. Uh-oh. Still not working. So what is going on? Well, the thing is you cannot control this via mouse. That's the real trick. You can't do this with the mouse. And the reason I remove these and put them back in is because we have to use an actual physical control to write the automation. That's just the way it is. And the only way to do this, like if you wanted to come here, yeah, see, you can't do it. You actually have to go into the menu and pick these. That's just the way you have to do it. So once I have that, then I want to hit learn, and there. So got that. And now I'm going to click on the FX, and I have that. Now, you can see that move. Oops. Oh, I had, see, that's, you got to watch that. Um, mm. What did I do? What did I do? I think I screwed this up. That's very strange. Oh, it's the same thing. Oh, there we go. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Okay, so that's a good tip. Watch when you, if you keep holding this down, if you have this enabled and you hit both of these, you're going to have all controls going everywhere. So beware of that. As it happens, it can happen a lot. So now that I have control over these, I can write automation. So you hit W, and away we go. All right. So now we have the automation. If you want to see the automation, you just go click this show hide automation, go in here, and it's the stars already show what has been automated, and boom, there's the automation. So if we want to do another pass and do the FX, we can do that. So here we go. So there we go. Now we have that. Click another one. When you click this add button down here, it actually will add the next piece of automation that was written. It doesn't show it on this one because all of the automations that have been used have been taken out. The other thing that you can do is right click and show used automation selected tracks, and boom, we've already done it, but it will show it here. So let's play this back. That's another thing that's really kind of finicky sometimes, is when you have a part that's been written over here and you go back. Now, see, sometimes it doesn't pick up on it, but all right, so that's how you can get by doing automation. I know there's been a billion videos about automation and Cubase and Pro Tools and all these other apps, but sometimes with Kontakt, these UIs depending on, I don't really program these. These can be pretty complex if you go in and look at the actual scripting. Um, if you go into edit, I mean, I mean, see how tiny that is? I mean, it's very extensive. And there's custom graphics, and sometimes when you hit these graphics with the mouse, it won't, they didn't write it in, or it's unable to write the automation.